Good morning, LinkedIn. It is Tuesday, January 7th, and we are going to chat about job searching in the new year. Why are we chatting about job searching in the new year? Well, grab your coffees because here's the answer. We have a meetup tomorrow, our very first meetup of 2020, and it's going to be hosted by Actualize in the Loop. And so I'll share my screen really quick. Here it is, Career Therapy, New Year, New Career, January 8th at 6 p.m. We're going to be meeting at Actualize Coding Bootcamp, 215 West Ohio Street, Suite 300. Huge shout out to Actualize. Thank you so much for hosting us in 2020. We will be having all of our events at Actualize this year. Probably all of our events. There might be a few that are kind of popped up on the weekends or something, but for the most part, we're going to be meeting there, and I've scheduled them out throughout the year. So if you want to take a look ahead at what's coming, feel free to check it out. The topics are all still to be determined. I like to base those based on our discussions and where people are at and what they want to spend time on. So new year, new career. We've already got 15 people signed up. Super excited about this event and about getting our meetups back up and running in the new year. So if you get a chance to sign up today, please do so, and I will see you at the meetup tomorrow. Now, to prep us for this conversation, how not to lose your New Year's job search mojo. Yes, I chose this article because it said mojo, and I think Austin Powers was hilarious when I was a kid. Probably doesn't hold up too well these days, but that's why his face is on there. All right, how not to lose your New Year's job search mojo. This is an article from monster.com, career advice article, job search year round. And I think this is from like 2017 maybe. But let's see if any of the tips here still hold up today. Sure, the process can be long and exhausting, but these tips can help you maintain your focus and fervor. What a good word, fervor. For many, January is a month dedicated to launching personal initiatives amid resolving to renew your gym pass. By the way, I went to yoga last night and there were so many people in the room. It was crazy. I mean, good for them. Yoga's great. So, you know, more people the merrier, but definitely different than like the 5 people that are normally there. Amid resolving to renew your gym pass and reconnect with old friends, finding a great job is no doubt high on your list. But as you know, job search stress is a real thing. And that steady resolve you had on January 1st can get worn down over time. Boy, that's true. But it doesn't have to. Read on for some job search tips from experts to help your momentum stay strong. Set specific job search goals. It's not enough to declare, this year I'm getting a new job. That's like saying, this year I'm going on vacation. Great. Where? When? How are you getting there? What do you want to do when you get there? Getting a job is no different. You need direction. Be sure to create very specific goals in order to give yourself the chance to achieve them, says Heather Monahan, career expert and chief revenue officer of the Beasley Media Group in Miami. Here's her example of a specific goal. I want to get into the PR business, and I've targeted these 3 companies as my first choice. I think that's some really good advice. The one caveat I would do there, or one thing I might add to that, is when I'm talking with folks, it is surprising how little focus there is on the industries you want to be a part of. So I'll say to someone, you know, okay, so you want to get a job as a UX designer. What types of companies do you want to work at? And I like that what they say here is, here's my top 3 companies. But that can get a little bit too myopic for folks. I think when you put 3 companies down and then you don't get into those 3 companies, you automatically feel like you're failing. So what we want to do instead is say, all right, there are potentially hundreds of companies within a certain category. And you could say industry, category, theme, whatever the thing might be, whether it's like fashion or automotive or sustainable energy or education, that's my field. Whatever the vertical is, there are so many jobs in each vertical. And so what we want to do is, instead of going so wide, because what most people will say is they'll say, well, I'll take any job that's a UX job. Sure, that might be true, but now your job search is, thousands and thousands and thousands of potential opportunities. And when you walk in, every single one of those companies is going to say, hey, why do you want to work here? And you're going to say, I don't know, I just want a job. I really don't care about this company or this industry. I'm not interested in this topic at all, but hey, hire me. And that's not going to go over well. So what we want to do is, take a look at your hobbies, take a look at your interests. What do you typically read when you're reading online? What do you typically watch when you're looking at YouTube? What do you typically talk to people about? If you're really interested in like health and fitness, there are a million companies within that industry alone. So you could look at the people who make software, who make apps, who make websites, who run blogs. You could look at the food companies. You could look at the delivery companies. You could look at the boxes, like the shipping boxes. You could look at the people that make the different bars that people eat, the protein shakes, the people that make the cups for the protein shakes. There are so many things within that vertical that we can go deep on when we start going, well, what's everything related to fitness? I'm going to go deep into that category, and you can definitely find jobs. So I do like their example here of getting focused and figuring that out. By the way, if anyone has questions, I see a few folks are watching. Feel free to chime in with any questions, thoughts, or additional tips, because that's always helpful for people as they're watching. I always forget this is live. Sometimes I'm just like ranting. All right. Now to conquer them methodically. It's easier to keep forging ahead when you enjoy small victories along the way. So after you've narrowed your focus, it's time to break down your job search into manageable tasks. For example, each week, commit to apply to at least 5 jobs, send 10 networking emails, and research 2 new companies. These metrics typically vary depending on what coach or company or school you're talking to. But I mean, these are fine. 5 jobs, that's 1 a day. 10 networking emails, that's 2 a day. And if you send out 10 networking emails, you'll probably only hear back from 4 or 5 people, and you'll probably only meet 3 or 4 of those people. So you do want to get a good quantity out. Sometimes I'll be like, hey, have you tried networking? And someone will say, well, I sent out 1 message on LinkedIn 3 months ago, and the person didn't respond to me, so networking doesn't work. Okay, we didn't try hard enough, so we need to go back and try again. All right. These mini resolutions will help maintain job search momentum long after the initial New Year's enthusiasm wanes. Make it easy to track your results. This is one of the hardest pieces, for myself included. I do have a spreadsheet that I've put together about how to track your job applications and things like that. And I also have one up in the top here, Muse Tracker. The law of large numbers. Yes, thank you, Miguel. Very good point. The more you do, the more opportunity there is. And so how not to lose your, I'm still getting used to the live thing and commenting on people's comments. All right. So I have a tracker here from the Muse you could use. You can just go to their website and download this. This isn't mine. And then I have a similar one. If you're interested, let me know. I'll share it with you. Applying to multiple positions at multiple companies, it's easy to get mixed up and waste time wondering what your last move was before throwing your hands in the air in exasperation. Don't let yourself get to that point. I like this method of organizing your search with an Excel spreadsheet. That's what I just showed you guys, in Google Drive or on the desktop. All right, that's just straightforward. Even with a spreadsheet, we'll forget to update it. So just make sure you put it in your calendar to regularly go and update your spreadsheet with the things you've done. I also think it's good to track some of your networking outreach and connections just to show yourself that you're doing a good job, and make notes so that you can follow up with people. Too often folks that I work with are tracking everything about their job search in their email. And that's just crazy town. You can't track it in your email because you will forget to follow up with people. And follow-up is one of the biggest pieces of the job search. So if you're not following up, you're definitely missing out on opportunities. I like this here to help stave off stagnation. We'll create another page in your spreadsheet and list 50 to 100 companies you'd love to work for. I think if you just do that, if you put together a list of 50 to 100 companies that you want to work for, you'll see what themes pop up. And I like that it's such a big number because most people I talk to, they're like, well, I want to work at Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Amazon. And I'm like, why those companies? Well, they're the ones that I know. Okay, well, there are lots and lots of mid, small, large to mid-sized companies that you can work for that are much easier to get into than, you know, the Facebooks of the day. Now, if you can get into Facebook, go get into Facebook. I'm not going to tell you not to apply, but don't say I want to work at Amazon and then just leave it at that. Because first of all, Amazon is a massive company. It's basically like 50 different companies in one. So saying you want to work at Amazon isn't even specific enough. You have to say, I want to work on the video team at Amazon, or the Alexa team at Amazon, or the grocery team at Amazon, or the whatever it is. They've got like a million different products, right? So you still need to get specific if you say Amazon. If there isn't anything open, check back in 15 to 30-day intervals and track that as well. If you apply to any jobs, add tracking information to your primary list. Not only will this help keep you organized, so let's go back to this tracker. All right, what are we actually taking? What does the Muse recommend that we actually track? They track the company name, the job posting, literally linking to it. I also like to copy and paste the job description into a Google Doc, because sometimes they'll take down the original posting and you'll be like, oh no, I have an interview coming up and the original posting has been taken down. What is this role again? And you can't find the reference point. So if you copy and paste it into a Word doc, where you're keeping all your notes and research, that'll help you if you do end up getting the interview. What date you found it, what date, and did you apply? What date did you apply? Did you do the research? This might be a little bit too in the weeds, but did you send a follow-up email? That's a really important one. What day did you send the follow-up email? This lets you know when to follow up on a follow-up. Did you go on an interview? What was the date of the interview? Did you send a thank you note? What day did you send it? Again, this is very detailed, but it's good. Like, these are all good things to at least think about. Even if you don't fill this out perfectly, it's good to have as much as you can down. It breaks it down into interview 2, interview 3. There might even be interview 4. We got proficiency test, and then notes. I like this notes section a lot. The way I do it is I'm like, 1 to 20. Well, I've got to make a copy of this, but I'll type in the date and what happened that date, and I'll just track every touch point. That's usually where I keep all my dates and everything. And that's how I sort of can see the journey of each of these things. And you can see that some of these jobs take months to turn into opportunities. So it's kind of crazy. All right, get a support group going. Teamwork makes the job search work. That's how the saying goes, right? A little help and support from your friends can go a long way in finding the perfect position. Make a group online or in person with friends who are job hunting. This is huge. When I was in between jobs early on in my career, I would get together with folks who were also job searching, and we would chat about our strategies and what we're doing in the job search. So this is very big, very good to do if you know anyone else who's job searching. If you don't, use these touch points, these videos here, as a way to sort of keep your mindset focused. Maybe try and join me for coffee in the mornings when we do these live videos. And then as you're thinking about what to do or how to sort of form that group, we've got a meetup tomorrow. How about that? Look at Austin Powers' funny face. All right, join us. This is going to be 15 to 20 job seekers who are all looking for support, who are all looking for community. I always feel like the most valuable piece of these meetups is the fact that you'll hear from other people who are going through the same thing as you, so you don't feel so alone. That's kind of why I started this whole thing in the first place. All right, and regularly high five yourself. On top of finding support through a group, rewarding yourself along the way can help you keep the momentum going. Whether you decide to buy a pair of shoes or get a massage, remember that it's a reward for your hard work. No hard work, no reward. All right, that's fair. Although I will say most people that I'm working with who are struggling to find a job don't have the finances to go buy a new pair of shoes or get a massage. Or if they do, they're going to feel guilty the whole time that they're doing it. So see if you can think of any smaller rewards. Like today, there are like a lot of really nice things. Like, I don't know, one of the things, like making these videos, I have my coffee while I make these videos. That's kind of like, oh, if I'm going to sit down and have coffee, I might as well do something. And now I'm feeling like I'm rewarding myself with coffee for making these videos. So there's a lot of little things that we can do. I remember when I was years back, when I was like trying to get into fitness and things, they said it's good to have something to like reward yourself for getting out of bed. And so I believe what I did was I made iced coffee and would just like take a sip like as soon as I got up. And that was like my, yes, this is gonna try, because I really like iced coffee or cold brew. And then like maybe a chocolate or like a small piece of chocolate when you get back from the gym, something to kind of keep that feedback loop going. But that's not going to like break your bank if you're trying to find a job. Say to yourself, during the next 2 weeks, I'm going to apply to every job that looks interesting from the job alerts I receive, and I'm going to reach out to 5 contacts. A week from Friday, I'll treat myself. All right, fair enough. Suggests Vicky. It's important to set up a reward system. So much of the job search process is intangible until you get a job offer. Celebrate milestones. In this case, sticking the course is a milestone. That I agree with. Just getting up and doing it every day is the whole point. And so it's very difficult to do that. So we have to find ways to keep ourselves focused. Now, there's 2 sides to that. The first side is we have to get up every day and do the job search. And the second part is we have to know when to stop doing the job search. We have to know when to take a break. We have to know when to go for a walk. We have to know when to call it a day, because it can easily spill over. I'm a career coach, and I was updating my resume this weekend. Believe me, it's no walk in the park, even for someone like me who does this all the time. It's very mind-numbing. And you're a couple hours into reading this thing, and you're like, am I even reading this thing correctly? And then trying to fill out a job application and fill out like cover letters. Oh, it's the worst. I know it's the worst, but it is necessary and it makes you better. And so every time that you do something, we need to give ourselves credit. I think job seekers are not giving themselves enough credit for the work that they have been putting in, and they only focus on the rejection. So I'll talk to someone who had an interview and they didn't get the job, and they're like, well, I suck, this sucks, everything sucks. And I'm like, I mean, you got the interview. You landed an interview and you went in and you got to practice interviewing. That's huge. Most people that I'm talking with aren't even at the I got an interview stage. And so they're not even getting the chance to practice getting good at interviews. Even if you didn't get this one, you got to practice getting good at interviews. And that is something that should be celebrated. So I hope that this article, brings some interesting ideas to the top of your mind. High five yourself. That's more of a clap. But hey, that's all I got. It's a weird turn of phrase here. But anyway, that is my news and views for Tuesday, January 7th. And remember, we have a meetup tomorrow, January 8th, 2020. New year, new career. Austin Powers is calling you in. It'll be from 6 to 7:30 at Actualize Coding Bootcamp. And if you don't know what Actualize is, it is a coding bootcamp in Chicago. Here we go. Where you can be the new you. So check it out. Come join us tomorrow at Career Therapy. And I'm wishing you all the best in your new year and new career. Cheers.